everyone, welcome to this week's Make a Card Monday, and this week we are going to make this beautiful card here. You see, hopefully you can see that, if it focuses in properly or not. It's on page 30 and it uses two stamp sets, Beautiful Friendships and Itty Bitty Greetings. So Itty Bitty Greetings is a great stamp set, that everything you could possibly want in one stamp set. Sending prayers, congratulations, best wishes, happy Hanukkah, 'tis the season, forever and always. I mean, look at them all. Look at them all. Lots and lots. And let me see. Oh, I've got them all here, she says. So this is the card. You can see it better there. It's only a Diddy card. It's a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be. And you can see the mess I've made already. But how cute is that? Very cute. Great for a little wedding card, a little wedding note, somewhere to place some money perhaps, or a gift voucher. So there's your Itty Bitty stamp set there. It comes in two bits. There's that many. Look, you're engaged, little hello, trick or treat, happy Mother's Day, sweet baby, happy anniversary. I mean, honestly, pretty much anything and everything that you could want. Happy anniversary, goodness me, look at that. So, and the other one is this beautiful, beautiful Friendships stamp set here. I'm trying not to get the light on it. So a couple of sentiments which you could use. A very big congratulations and best wishes to you is nice. Birthdays are best days, so very happy to know you. But we have these here, the floral images. So let's get started, shall we? So as I say, this card was a lot smaller than I thought it was. And I thought I might do a kind of A6 version. Then I thought no, because that's not what Make a Card Monday is all about. Make a Card Monday is all about copying something from the catalogue. So it's all very well. My problem is that's how I get going when I craft. I kind of pick something that I like, start going, oh, I like that, and I'll take that bit and I'll take that bit, and then I go off on a tangent. So it's quite hard for me, this Make a Card Monday. But this is my card here. So if you are in America and you're using inches, this is 3.5 inches by 8 1/4. And if you are in the UK, it is 9 centimetres by 21. A 21 is just the width of an A4 piece of card, so I just literally cut it 9 centimetres. So let's move that back around there. So that's your measurements for that. Then you have a piece of white card, which here is 3.5 square, and I keep doing this, it must be 9. I was going to say 9 centimetres square there. So this is a square, even though it looks a little bit rectangular. And what we're going to start off with, so I'd say we folded our piece of Pretty Peacock in half. That's one of this year's new in colours. I love it. Love it, love it. And it's another blue and green card. If you know me, you know I love my blue and green cards. So let's start, shall we? So I've got my Pretty in Pink is an X colour. Pretty Peacock is this beautiful blue. And then you have one of the stamps there that I've mounted up. And this ink pad is nice and new, so it's very juicy. And what they did was they stamped one image upside down. Doesn't matter which way you do this, because say it's a square. So one image upside down. There we go. And then one image up the right way. And I tend to just lay it to the side here. It doesn't matter if you go slightly over, because we're going to cover that centrepiece anyway, so don't worry too much. But can you see how just one stamp has given the different layers? Look at that. Some of the pieces are really dark and some are a lot lighter. Very clever, all with one stamp. So that is our background piece there. Then what we're going to do is make our sentiment. So this is actually a heat embossed, so white embossed. Let's put that to one side so I don't get myself messy. And forever and always is the sentiment from the Itty Bitty Greetings. And I'm using I've got a nice rhinestone there, using a Versamark ink pad. Now this is called a watermark stamp pad because if you were to let's just do it, shall we? Let's see if I can do it. I'm just going to use one of the flowers. Look at that. See, it leaves this kind of watermarked image. Now this stays, it's a glycerin based ink pad, so it stays quite sticky and wet for quite a long time, which is great for something else. If you just wanted that watermark look, then you just leave it to dry for a little while and it'll be absolutely fine. But we don't want it for that, so in fact I'm going to turn that over. We want it for its sticky properties. So it doesn't matter whether I've got it upside down or not, because I'm actually going to die cut it out. So tiny little sentiments. And then what we do is we cover it with white embossing powder. Now where this is sticky, there we go. I'm going to do this on another piece of paper really. If you've got a scrap piece of paper, here's my card, here's my scrap piece of paper. And see what happens once you give that a good old flick, the powder sticks on the sentiment. Can you see that? Now if you can see anything, you can use a paintbrush or something like that, a pair of tweezers in this case, to get rid of that. But can you see? Hopefully you can see that. So the powder's stuck, and the powder's not coming off. As I say, it takes a little while to dry, so you don't have to heat it immediately. But what happens is when we heat this with a heat gun, I've now got white embossing powder everywhere. Never mind, should have used a bit of A4 scrap paper like I normally do, but there we go. So what I do is I get a heat tool, and if you either heat it over the top or underneath, whichever you prefer, sometimes they're a little bit strong, so if you start putting the heat gun over that and melting it, you can blow all the powder off. So I tend to start from underneath, and what happens, here's one I made earlier, is it turns from that, it doesn't cut it out, but just heating the powder changes it, it melts it, and it now becomes a slightly raised, embossed sentiment. And then what I've done is I've used I have to use these on every card dies, and these are my stitch shaped dies, and I put my stitch shaped die over the sentiment and run it through my die cutting machine so that it cuts out this beautiful shape here. Now I would always say stamp first and then die cut out. So once you've done the powder, heat with your heat gun, let it melt, run it through, cut it out with your die cutting machine. So I've done here's one I've done earlier. So let's get rid of that one for the time being. I've got powder everywhere. So that is going to be my central sentiment that's going to cover there. That's why I said it doesn't really matter too much if you overlap here. And that's the end of my Versamark, but a really good ink pad to get for various reasons. You can have glitter stick to it and all sorts of things. But that's those two bits done. So then what we needed to do was, we have this flower design here, which I just used on my Versamark, and we're going to use Pool Party ink. Now I want 2 of these flowers. I have got ink powder everywhere. So one, see, look how different it is. I'm cutting these out actually, so it doesn't matter, I'm going to use the most of my piece of card. But look, how genius is that? One stamp, 2 different depths of colour. So that's Pool Party ink. And then with my old olive, I want 3. I could have been a little bit more generous with the flowers. I've done some bit previously, so you wouldn't have to sit and watch me cut them out. But that's it. That's all our inking. So all my ink pads can go out of the way. And what you need to do now is get rid of all the powder. And you're going to be cutting all these out. So just my tip, I tend to cut out each bit that I need. So I've got a smaller piece of paper. And my top tips, first of all, small pair of scissors, sharp blades. And I just go in, and you will see that I am moving the paper or the card, not the scissors. And I'm just going to leave a small white border all the way around. See that the scissors are completely still. And up to you. It's not going to be perfect. This isn't die cut out. This is cut out by hand. but just leaving that small border. Again, it's thinner in some places than others. This is handmade, it's not meant to be perfect. Perfectly handmade. And there we go. There is one of our pair of leaves. And the same for these. Let's do, as I say, I've already done these, so I don't need to do them again. But I'm not worried about the stalks, I just want these flower heads. So again, chop off the bottom, not interested in that, and just that small white border. There we go, all the way round, and just keep moving that piece of card. Well, I need to stop talking then because I was concentrating so much. There we go. Ooh. And just round there as well. And there we go. So what we needed was 2 of the big flowers, 2 of the littler flowers, and 3 of those leaves. So let's get rid of this. Oh, mind yourself. Okay, so first of all I'm going to start with, nearly forgot where it was then, with this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some wet glue because I'm going to stick, so if you can see on here, my flowers are stuck to my base card, but the leaves here are actually stuck to the back of my sentiment panel. So I'm going to put some wet glue, she says, it's going to come out. So I use Tombow, and I do love a pair of tweezers so I don't get glue all over my fingers. But based on that one, I'm then going to grab my leaves and I'm just going to stick them behind where I want them. So one there, and just stick and hold for a second for the glue to kind of adhere to the other piece. There we go, and I've just done exactly what I said don't do because I'm not using my tweezers. I want one about there, and I want one while I'm waiting for that one about there. So I'm just going to hold them for a little bit. There we go. And that is good. I'm going to leave it upside down for the moment because I don't need that for the moment. So what I'm going to do next is get a piece of linen thread, and I'm going to tie this round the middle of this card. Doesn't matter where my bow goes at the moment because I can move it once I'm happy. So I tend to just do one knot, but rather than try and do a bow and it all becomes loose and all of that, I do a double knot straight away. So then I've got my tightness right. It's not too tight that it doesn't move, but it's or it doesn't bend the card, but it's not too loose that it's going to fall off. So now that double knot is in place, I can then happily tie my bow. And because it's linen thread, I just tie it like I would do my shoelaces. I'm all fingers and thumbs, so I'll use my tweezers as well. Ooh, tweezers that have got a bit of glue on. And then I faff around until I'm happy. So put it like that, make it a little bit smaller. I want a nice cute little bow. That's quite cute. So I'm going to move this right alongside so I can just, oh, she says, there we go, it slides right along there. I'm going to chop my ends. There we go, chop 1, chop 2. And then what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to put this straight down. Now I've put it flat. You could use some 3D foam tape or dimensionals if you wanted to, that's up to you. But I tend to like to use wet glue just because it gives me a bit of wiggle room. Hold on, it's going up that way. Gives me a bit of wiggle room, and it just means that it's not stuck down immediately. But I'm looking to make sure that it's straight down this edge, but also that I've got a similar kind of border, and then do this. There we go. And just let that sit there quite happily. Now, I want my sentiment up on some, 3D foam tape. So these are little, we call them dimensionals, but it just means you can have little bits rather than long bits. And take the backing off. And then, with my tweezers, so I don't get glue all over my fingers, I'm going to be putting this in the middle, about there. So over that thread, I'm making sure that my bow is on the right hand side. You're thinking, oh, but you've forgotten to put the flowers on. Oh no, I haven't. Although that looks quite nice, just like that. So these are going to the, I'll take 3 of those. These are going to the back. So where's my glue gone? There we go. So I put a little bit of glue on the backs of these. There we go. And I never know which way round they are. So I just pick them up and pray. There we go. So it's like that way. So where do I want these? I want a big one up behind here. So I'm just putting it behind there, making sure that the base is covered by those leaves. And I'm happy with that one there. This is the interesting one. Is that way round. Is to try and get this over here. There we go. Make sure I've not covered the bow. I'll just stick that down there. Then I've got my big flower again, and it's that way. So that's going underneath there. So again, just making sure that we cover the bottom. And then this one, just kind of there. That'll do. And there we go. There we have these super cute, perfect for weddings, gift cards. Obviously you can change the sentiment and it can be anything you like. But there we go. That is the card made with Beautiful Friendship on page 30 of the Stampin' Up! Annual Catalogue. Now if you like what you've seen here, then you can grab any of these items at natalieoshea.stampinup.net and it will take you straight to my shop and you can order them there. Beautiful Friendship and Itty Bitty Greetings. If you are watching this on my blog or from my blog, you'll have links to the shop, to the individual items at the bottom of the blog post. If you are watching this on YouTube, then you will also have links in the description straight to the products as well. So if there's certain things that you like, oh my goodness, I have to have that Beautiful Friendship stamp set, then you should just be able to click. And if you are watching on YouTube and you don't subscribe to my channel, then just give me a click now. But thanks for joining me for another Make a Card Monday, and I'll be back on Wednesday, Facebook Living on my Facebook page, also using Beautiful Friendship once again as well. So I will see you then. Thank you for joining me. Bye-bye.